So I just got done working on another video. It's actually for somebody else's channel. But it was real estate related, housing market crisis, Florida specifically, housing market crash. But there's more. But wait, there's more. There's always more.
There's always more.
It's only going to get worse. And you can read that.
23 cities with housing that will no longer be affordable on just Social Security.
Now, this one's really intriguing to me for a variety of reasons, mainly because YouTube continues to fill my analytics with Sarasota Tim keywords, although I don't know why. Now, granted, he's created a name for himself here recently throughout the internet, which is actually pretty impressive considering how many subscribers he has and how few views he has. Like, he's really managed to gain the attention of a large fan base of people who, in essence, love to hate watch him. But it's based on what I'm reading, especially on Reddit, on YouTube, on Gossip Bakery. They're genuinely upset, collectively upset about his blanket financial advice given in regard to Social Security. So this one here really kind of piqued my interest because 23 cities with housing that will no longer be affordable on just Social Security makes me think about Sarasota Tim as he lived on just Social Security. But he didn't have housing. He had a travel
something, right?
Travel trailer.
Yeah.
Travel trailer, but he's also not just on Social Security because he does earn from YouTube ad revenue. He does get donations from Amazon Pay, which I learned about Amazon Pay today. I didn't know about that. Have you ever heard of Amazon Pay? He has some other forms of donations that he begs for on his videos, and he also received money from the government through the CARES Act pandemic relief that he's not going to repay. So he's excluded because he's not in search of or going to need housing and living on just Social Security.
What's interesting to me is that everybody's Social Security is different. So are they basing this off of the people who get the highest amount of Social Security or the people who get the lowest amount of Social Security? Because that's my first thought is, like, who are they talking about?
Good question. According to SocialSecurityAdministration.gov, the maximum benefit depends on the age you retire. For example, if you retire at full retirement age in 2024, your maximum benefit would be $3,822. However, if you retire at age 62 in 2024, your maximum benefit would be $2,710. If you retire at age 70 in 2024, your maximum benefit would be $4,873.
You know, I wasn't aware that everybody got paid the same. For some reason, I thought it had to do with how much they tax you.
Maximum benefit. This is the maximum benefit based on your
age.
Full retirement age.
Okay, not that everybody that's 67 is going to get this. Not everybody that's 70 is going to get this.
It's all based on how much you paid in.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
At that age, too.
Okay.
You know,
just making sure. Just making sure I wasn't having a serious brain fart over here.
And I think Tim is telling everybody to take it at 62, which is a huge
loss of revenue. I mean, you get to.
Well, you got to think you're going to get less from Social Security, and then while also not making that money.
Well, not making that money, but also once you start taking Social Security, you're capped on what you can earn, correct?
And you're taxed.
And you're taxed on the stuff you do earn.
But you got to think, it's like if you worked another 6 years, 8 years, or whatever, you're earning that time during that time. You're earning, and you're going to get more from Social Security when you collect.
Yeah.
Versus not earning and getting less.
I mean, how long until the next phase is? If you collect at 72, you get this. 75, you get this. But if you wait till 80, you get this much. Like, it feels like the ages used to be younger than that. 70.
Well, as the guy, I think it's Japanese or Korean, I'm not really sure, but there's a scientist that's trying to make it so cats can live, instead of living to 15 years, they'll live to 30 years. Maybe they'll do that to people.
Oh.
And they'll find a way to make people live.
I don't want to be 120. I don't want to do it. Unless of course that extension of age also extends how like spry you are.
Oh,
I wanted to use Granny's word from.
And you'll need a vaginal rejuvenation at some point, probably.
What about guys? Y'all gonna need a ball lift.
I was going to say, the guys don't need vaginal rejuvenation.
No.
Not all of them.
Some of them do. I've seen some guys with vaginas.
But it says, planning to pay for housing during retirement with your Social Security check, ? Where you live might be out of your budget if you're counting solely on these benefits for the full duration of your retirement years. Oh, man, this housing market crisis and this whole economy situation and just inability to cover costs and expenses as prices continue to rise, but wages do not. It's troubling.
If just one thing would calm itself down and stay
It
lateral, that would be great. But everything going up at the exact same time while pay stays lateral or decreases is where we end up with this basket of crap that we're in.
I think the statement that I'm hearing a lot from wages not keeping up with the rising costs. Well, I mean, what would be the point of raising the prices and increase costs if wages kept up? We could have just not done that.
Well, that's what I've said forever. Every time they're like, well, there's going to be a minimum wage increase, or they're going to increase, like, fast food workers in California increase to $20. It's like, well, then the cost of everything goes up. Then because the cost of everything goes up, nobody can afford anything. So then they got to pay more. So then the cost of everything goes up. It's like this constant.
It's a leapfrog. So basically what you want to do is, let's just say this is costs going up and these are your wages. And you're going to be on one of these platforms. Whichever one you're on is your wages.
Yeah.
So as the cost goes up, obviously your wages are going to go down or just appear like they're going down. You need to find a way to leap to the cost. Now you're above, you're
the
better.
Wage.
But it's going to do it again. So as these minimum wages increase, costs increase, you need to find a way to get from the minimum wage at McDonald's, which is, 18, 19, 20, whatever it is, you need to find a way to get from there to somewhere where you can make $40 as it's going up. You got to get out of there. And you'll have to continuously leapfrog up in your income and your earnings, save and invest.
Or have multiple streams of income. I mean, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Sometimes that's the best way to look at it.
But it says to find out which U.S. housing areas will no longer be affordable with just Social Security, Go Banking Rates checked the January 2024 average home values for metro U.S. areas via Zillow and calculated the average mortgage using the 30-year national average fixed rate mortgage. Zillow was also referred to for the forecasted home value for 1 year in January 2025, which I don't know if you really want to trust Zillow's estimates. Mortgage calculations were included along with average income received from Social Security benefits. So they're trying to explain and justify how they've come to this determination.
So this says in descending order.
Yeah. So as we go through the list, it gets less affordable.
I really thought they were going to end up picking like cities people would know.
Well, I think
because that first city I'm like,
I think they will, but that's the other thing. It's like Lewiston, Idaho. I have never heard of this place.
of it.
But the average home value currently, January 2024, was $337,621. And next year, same time next year, they're saying it's going to be $353,827. So please tell me how this housing market is crashing.
Yeah, if it's going up.
Year over year home value change of 4.8%. And your mortgage is going up almost $100 a month. And January 2024, the amount that you would have left of average Social Security benefits would be $81.37. January of 2025, you would actually be short $4 and a penny.
And that's just if your Social Security had to cover your mortgage?
Well, yeah. I mean, think about it.
Well, 'cause
think about it. Well, okay, so they're saying that Go Banking Regs checked January 2024 average home values through Zillow, calculated the average mortgage using a 30-year national fixed rate. And let's see here. Mortgage calculations were included along with average income received from Social Security benefits. So they have a calculation for Lewiston, Idaho, which would give them the average Social Security benefit, theoretically.
Okay. So then, in theory, the average Social Security benefit is $1,800?
Or this is a national average. Or it's a national average, and it's like you may have to move about the country to figure out where you're going to stay.
Because I was trying to figure out if they were also adding in and just not telling us what the average fuel, average insurance, average grocery things are, and then subtracting that because number there was confusing.
It looks like
for me.
this right now would, with a 1779 mortgage of 2024, and you got 8137 left over. So then that would put you at like a little, right about $1,860 roughly.
Yeah.
Is where it would put you. So they're saying that that's the average Social Security
in Lewiston, Idaho.
Or I don't know, but they're just saying that's the average.
That's what I was saying, because I mean that would mean you can afford only mortgage and nothing else.
Which, if you got a dual income household, two people collecting Social Security, maybe you have that extra cushion. But also, you would think that with Social Security, all right, the Social Security is going to pay your mortgage, okay, but then your other investments could, cover the cost of your other expenses.
Okay.
And so at $1,860, then, it seems like that's pretty low. That's pretty low. So I would have to assume a lot of folks either haven't worked enough or earned enough to put in the Social Security to receive the max benefit, or a lot of folks are collecting that 62.
So you got to think about this. This is on topic but off. The people who are collecting Social Security now worked for the lowest wages in history, so they were putting in the least amount in history. So in theory, there won't be Social Security when we get
Trust
older.
fund is already experiencing
I was about to say there
deficit.
won't be any when we get there. But if there were, by the time we were to retire, in theory, ours should be like $15,000 a month.
By the time we
how much
would qualify, it won't exist.
Yeah, definitely not. They've already said by 2032, I think. And they said 2035, then it was 2034, then they said 2032, then it was 2027.
It won't exist. I would be willing to bet that this country doesn't exist in the same way that it does now. Our government probably won't exist the same way.
I agree.
Most of this country may end up being Texas. Anything's possible. Like I put very little faith in 30 years from now. Wait, let's just say roughly 30 years from now, things being anywhere remotely near the same.
Can you legally not pay W-2s or legally not pay taxes? I mean, 1099 or W-2?
I mean, yes. There are ways to avoid paying taxes legally.
That is true.
Yes, there are ways to. I'm answering your question.
Yes, I know.
I don't know if that's really your question.
Well, I'm thinking for people who pull in W-2s, who work for corporations and whatever, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 kind of thing, and then their checks are automatically taxed. Is there a way to not pay taxes and then not owe anything? Because, like, if you know that you're not going to, in 30 years, get paid back, why would you continue giving the government your money?
No. See, all right, so you can manipulate your withholdings. You can manipulate withholdings based on the amount of dependents and things like that, and it'll change. And you won't be, more likely you're not going to qualify for a refund in April, but you still would owe based on doing your taxes and how much you earned and, how much you would be required to pay. But if you know how to manage your money in such a way, then you could theoretically avoid having to pay because that money has gone in other
Okay.
Have more babies.
That makes
have more
sense.
babies. Have more dependents.
That makes sense.
Whatever. We're not going to go through all the numbers, but we're just going to run through some of these cities. Deltona, Florida. Blackfoot, Idaho.
They all look very, very close to each other. They're all in the 330s and all moving up to all in the 330s and all moving up to the 350s.
No. Basically any average home in the $330,000 range, you will not be able to afford on Social Security.
So then you have to assume that if you're above 330, you're definitely screwed.
If you're above 330, you are trying to, well, it depends on how much you're getting on Social Security.
Yeah.
Because these are all average numbers.
That's true.
But there's actually a pretty interesting one here. I saw this comment from Palm Beach's Paul on Chris's video. Cheapest oceanfront home in South Florida. What you would think, you retire, you might want to, live in Florida. You might want to live by the beach, by the water, right? And so he left this comment. I'll let you read it. If I can get it. Here it is right here.
Oh, he left the comment. I just made a video about a place that has mobile homes right on the beach asking $475,000 for a 1-bedroom. LOL. The market is doing just fine.
Yeah. So you will not be living in South Florida, even in a mobile home, on Social Security.
Not at all.
That's not going to happen. Ontario, Oregon.
We missed Daphne, Alabama.
Oh, Daphne, Alabama.
Then Ontario, Oregon.
Dover, Delaware. Rapid City, South Dakota. Knoxville,
Tennessee.
Keene.
Keene, I think Keene, New Hampshire. And again, these are all in the 330 to 336 range, moving up to the 350 to 356 range so far.
Mountain Home, Idaho. Crescent City, California.
Go back up to Mountain, Idaho. That one has, look at the value change there, 8.7%. So Mountain Home, Idaho, they are expecting to see a significant increase in population this year because that's why that would go up, because they can charge it, right?
There's a variety of reasons that could cause it to go up, but it's nearly a 9% jump.
Yeah, which is huge.
Year over year. Only 2.6% in Crescent City, California.
Because everybody's leaving California. They need incentives to stay. 2.6 would be it.
Bakersfield, California. Athens, Georgia, sanctuary city.
7%.
Go there if you want to be murdered by a migrant. Laramie, Wyoming. Winchester, Virginia. Fallon, Nevada.
These have all been in the 3 to 5 ranges on percentages.
Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Philadelphia. Just Philadelphia.
Just Philadelphia. They didn't bother to tell you it's Pennsylvania, right?
Richmond, Virginia.
Well, that's interesting.
Moses Lake, Washington.
I guess because everybody knows Philly.
Whitewater, Wisconsin. I mean, Tucson, Arizona. Why'd they put Arizona? You know where Tucson is.
Yeah.
Or Tucson.
So my brain was just doing that.
Twin Falls, Idaho.
So Idaho's in this a lot.
And did we say 25 already? Is that 25?
I guess so. It stopped.
Huh. So number 20.
That was at 7% also. So Idaho, they're expecting some changes.
This can't be. This is a strange list because there's no way that these are the only places that you unless these are the only places you could afford it now. Mm-hmm. Therefore, they wouldn't put places on here that were over 400,000.
No, and most places are over 400,000. I mean,
so they wouldn't put those on here. So it's the places that they see that people live now that are on Social Security, but we'll also see a jump in average home values and the mortgage prices next year, which means you won't be able to live there.
That makes sense.
Or at least afford to live there. Whereas in
Social Security.
Twin Falls, Idaho, the average home value in January of this year was $347,989. The average home value next year is supposed to be, for the same home, $372,696. That's a lot more.
That's a 7% increase there.
Average mortgage goes from $1,833 a month to $1,964, which means that this year you would have about $2,674 left over after paying your mortgage on Social Security benefits. But next year you would be in the hole $103.43.
It's a big deal.
Which basically tells me that you're probably going to need to start a YouTube channel and start posting videos like Sarasota Tim in order to be able to afford to subsidize your lifestyle if, in fact, any of these places are where you live. Mm-hmm. And, yeah. Let me know what you guys think. And check out the next video. Thanks for watching.
Bye.